Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make kunu. Like this recipe, with me, like I always say now, is always easy. I don't like stressing anyone. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do that. It encourages me. It just shows me that you love the content and I should keep creating content. And also, please don't forget to click the thumbs up button. It helps to push the video to other viewers. And drop a comment. I love to read from you. And don't forget to share. So I'm going to be making kunu. The kunu I grew up drinking in Lagos, Nigeria. It's kind of like a little adulterated version of the northern kunu. So it is more widely acceptable. The taste of this particular type of kunu is easy for any ethnic group, to drink. So the very first thing you want to get is you want to get your white guinea corn and you want to get the millet. White guinea corn is the white one to the other side. Guinea corn, then this one, the other one here is the millet. That those are the things you want to get. The very, very first tip I'm going to be giving you when making kono is that this one, the white one, should be more than the millet. Then we are using dried ginger. You wonder why dried ginger? I think it's more of the taste. When you dry any food item, the taste is more intense, the flavor is more intense, is more stronger, is more powerful. So for kunu, we use the dried ginger and not the fresh ginger. If you say, what if I don't have access to the dried one? Can I use the fresh one? Absolutely yes. You can use the fresh one if you don't have access to the dried one, but the dried one just gives it that kunu taste, like this particular taste you're looking for that the dried one gives it. So the very first thing is that you want to wash your kunu thoroughly. So I'm not going to speed up this part because there are so many things I want to teach us in this video, and I need the space on the video to be able to see all of those. So like I said, the quantity of the guinea corn must be more than the millet. The thing is this: the guinea corn gives it the thickness. The white guinea corn that you saw in the video gives it the thickness. It gives it the thickness and it gives it the milky color. You get more of the milk from the guinea corn. That is where you get more of the milk from. So the millet makes it look dark. So if you add too much millet to it, can you see? And please let me quickly say something. Can you see? I'm going to be scooping out all these ones from it that is floating and throwing them away. For me, it's chaff. I'm just going to throw it away. It's chaff. It has nothing to do. The moment I pour anything into water, anything that rises and floats, I scoop and I throw away. Okay, let me get back to what I was saying. So the millet makes your kunu dark. It will give it a dark color. And no one, dark kunu does not look appealing. It does not look appealing. There's a particular type of kunu that is only the millet they use, just strictly the millet. They don't even sieve that type of kunu in the north. They use just the millet, they don't sieve it and all. That is a different type of kunu. But for this kunu that I grew up drinking on the streets of Lagos, believe me, you don't want it looking dark, because if it is too dark, people will not appreciate it. That is the truth. They will not appreciate it. So what you're going to be doing is that even if you're no longer with this video, you're no longer with this recipe, and you want to get your measurement right, what you simply do is that if, for example, you're measuring 1 kg of the guinea corn, you measure half 500 grams of the millet. So that is 2.1. So two portions of the guinea corn, one portion of the millet. One thing you want to do with kunu, you want to wash it thoroughly. Please wash, 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 and wash under running tap water. If you don't have water water, just pour water into it, wash, 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 and scoop it out after you wash it thoroughly. Can you see the sand? Can you see the sand in this bowl? Like, you need to wash it and scoop it out. Same thing I have done. Please do it, because you don't want anyone drinking your kunu and it's sandy. The sand, if they blend the sand with the kunu, your cheesecloth will not be able to hold on to some of the sand. Some of the sand will get into your kunu. So you don't want the sand in your kunu. Hence why you need to wash and wash. Can you see the sand and the stones and everything? Wash, wash, wash. Then after a while, then you scoop it out into a different bowl. You understand? So that way you can know that you've gotten rid of the stones and the sand, and you wash again. For kunu, I don't like stress. I don't rush through it. Kunu is not something I wash and I rush through. No, I take my time, because I understand how people can develop, diarrhea, dysentery from drinking badly prepared kunu. So guys, if you want to go into business of selling kunu, I've just given you the very first thing you need to know, that the guinea corn must be 2 portion and the millet 1 portion. So if for example you want to do 10 kg, you want to do 10 kg of kunu, you say that, okay, this is going to be 2 portion, the other is going to be 1 portion. You understand? That is very, 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 very important. So you can say, like, for example, now 5 kg of guinea corn, 2.5 kg of millets. That is how you balance it out for you to understand it. Then for the ginger as well, also wash, 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 and you can see all the dirt that came out of the ginger. I know it's dried now, so when it's drying, during the drying process, so many things will dry with it. It will look as if it's not dry, but it's not dirty, but it is. It is very, very dirty because ginger is a root. They pull it out from the soil. So it's sandy, there's stone, everything, debris and all, weed, and so many things that you don't want in your ginger. So you also wash that thoroughly. Very, very important. You can mix your ginger as well. You can decide to do a portion of dry ginger and a portion of fresh ginger. Because if you add fresh ginger to it again, it will also intensify the flavor. The ginger will come through. The pepper in the ginger will pull through more if you add fresh ginger. So if you want your kunu to be a little bit spicy, like you want it to have that kick, that spice, add a little bit of fresh ginger. So you can do half of half. So if, for example, you're using 500 grams of ginger, you can decide to do 250 grams of dry, 250 grams of fresh. And you can also dry your own ginger. Ginger dries on its own easily. It dries on its own easily. So one thing you want to do is that after washing it thoroughly, you pour water, you cover it like this, and you leave it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, this is what you will see. If you want to fasten your soaking process, like you don't have the time to wait for 24 hours, you can use lukewarm water to soak your millet and the guinea corn. The issue there is just this: it can make your kunu to ferment faster because of the warm water you have introduced. It can make your kunu to ferment faster. And trust me, guinea corn and millet, it ferments. If you know this drink, this local drink called too, it is made from this ingredient, so it ferments easily. For me, I'd rather just pour water, especially if you want to sell it. I'd rather just pour my room temperature water and leave it to soak for 24 hours. I washed it again, and this is what it looks like in a different bowl. My ginger in a separate bowl. You understand why I decided to blend them separately, and I'm going to be blending. Then after blending, this is what it looks like. This time, I decided not to use my industrial mixer. I decided to just, take it to those local women in the markets that use the grinding machine. They did that for me, and that was it. But if you have your industrial mixer, like the industrial mixer I use from Madam B Kitchen Equipment, and you have the time, simply just run it through your blender, and it's going to blend, and you're going to get something like this. So I brought water to a boil, like boiling water, like I'm making pap, and I poured it inside the kunu, and you can see what that looks like. Like, bring water to a complete boil and pour it inside the kunu like you're making pap. And I stirred it before I poured the water. I ensured that nothing was settled at the base of the pot before I poured in my hot water, because I don't want it to solidify. Then the next thing I'm now doing is that I'm now pouring in my ginger mixture. This is the ginger mixture plus the water they used to wash out the kunu and everything from the engine. I'm now pouring it in. Why am I doing this? I am stopping the cooking process of the kunu, because in as much as the base is like pap, I don't want it to have that pap texture. I want my kunu to be milky. I don't want it to look like pap. Hence why I am stopping the cooking process immediately. So immediately I pour in the hot water, I stir. Immediately I pour in my cold ginger, the ginger I grinded from the engine and everything, and I immediately stop the cooking process of the kunu, because I don't want my kunu to turn to pap, and I stir, 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 so I can get a smooth paste. That is it. One other thing you can grind and add to your kunu is dried sweet potatoes. You can dry, so that will also help you serve as a thickener and also as a sweetener if you add dried sweet potatoes. The Hausas call it denkeli. Then this is my cheesecloth that I used to strain. I'm going to be using to strain the kunu. Cheesecloth is very, very, very important. And I strain my kunu immediately. The moment I pour in the wet, the room temperature ginger, the ginger and everything, I begin to strain. I said, it's hot now. Won't it be hot? No, it's not that hot anymore, because I've poured that in. I have immediately killed the cooking process of the kunu, and That is it. I just begin to strain and sieve my kunu. And I don't need to put my hand, please wash your hands very well. Look, please wash your hands thoroughly. But I don't need to put my hands in there and begin to squeeze and squeeze. I don't do that. All I simply just do is that I move my bag from side to side. I move the cheesecloth, sorry. I move the cheesecloth from side to side, and that way the kunu just automatically extracts itself. Can you see that my ends are still clean? Even though I did one bowl, I'm doing the second bowl, and my ends are still very, very clean because I don't need to go through that stress of of squeezing and squeezing and squeezing the bag. The only time I squeeze the cheesecloth is when I know that the juice is completely out, and I pour a little bit of water. And when with my cheesecloth, I don't even need to open the bag to pour the water. I just pour the water on the body of the bag. Because the cheesecloth is so light, the water penetrates and goes into the shaft, and that's where it mixes with the shaft, and I squeeze it out and I get dried shaft. So I don't even need to open my cheese bag and all. And this is what I got. This is the shaft I got from the Kunu. Can you see? So it has separated. This is the dirt I'm going to be discarding. For those who rear poultry fowls, poultry and all, they feed it to their chicken, to their fowls. So now I now brought out my industrial um, measuring scale to measure the quantity of my Kunu. I just wanted to know the exact quantity of my Kunu. And this scale I also got from Adam Bay Kitchen Equipment. And I got 8 kg, 8.5 kg. That's 8 kg, 500 grams. And I'm using exactly 500 grams of sugar. Exactly 500 grams of sugar for 8.5 kg of Kunu. So I'm using 500 grams of sugar. No more, no less. One thing I want you to understand about putting sugar in your Kunu, please be very, very, very careful. Do not be tempted to want to add too much sugar. Initially, to seem as if the sugar is not enough, it's enough. Trust me on that. By the time the Kunu settles, goes into the fridge, settles, cool up, you will not begin to get the taste of the sugar. And nobody wants Kunu that is too sugary. Nobody. So you can always get these bottles from those who sell plastic bottles and all. If you want to go into selling of Kunu, you can always get these bottles from there. They sell it from them. They sell it the bottles with the covers and everything. And the good thing about these bottles is that the moment you cover it, when you fill the Kunu into the bottle and you cover it, anybody that wants to open will have to uncork it. You understand? So they have to unscrew it to open it up. So for you to go into, and you just make your labels, go to those people who does designs and printing, you make labels and you just attach your label to the body of the bottle. I will advise you that you first fill your Kunu into the bottles. After filling and everything, then you begin to do your labeling. And this is what is good. Can you see? You can just put your label in there right where I touched, and that way your Kunu will just be labeled. You can supply your supermarkets, you can sell to people, and you have a Kunu business. For Kunu, I won't really necessarily advocate preservatives for this type of Kunu. Kunu Aya is quite different. Zobo is a little bit different. For this particular type of Kunu, I really won't advocate preservatives. So one thing I'm going to advocate for you is that if you want to sell this type of Kunu, I also would not advocate freezers. I noticed that when you store Kunu in the freezer and it freezes up, by the time it defrosts, it has these little granules that will not make your kunu milk be very, very smooth. So the best place to preserve your kunu is actually a fridge that is working perfectly. So from this 8.5 kg of kunu, I got 12 of these 75 cl bottles and that small bottle. So imagine I want to sell for 1,000 naira. So that means that I got 12,500 naira. So you do your maths. How much is the kunu? How much is the kunu that you've bought? How much is how much is the guinea corn? How much is the millet? So you do your maths, then you add your cost of production, the money for grinding, you add the money for your gas, the gas that you used, in boiling the water, you add the money for the container and everything. Just ensure you do your proper costing. Please ensure you do your proper costing before you sell your kunu. So for this one now, I used 988 grams of guinea corn. I used 528 grams of millet. I used 70 grams of ginger, and I used 500 grams of white granulated sugar. Exactly what I used for this recipe. And I hope after watching this video, you're going to try it. Drop a comment in the comment section and tell me other things you feel you would like to do, and you maybe probably you want insight, I should drop the video on the channel. I'll be more than willing to drop the video on the channel. Another thing you can use for sweetener is dates or jaggery, but that is not the Kunu I grew up drinking. The moment you begin to add dates, you begin to add jaggery and all as sweetener, that's, you are taking it to a higher level, like luxury level. I hope you get the customers that will be able to pay you to add honey and jaggery to your Kunu. But for this Kunu, what we simply use to add is white granulated sugar. Like I said, you can also add the dried sweet potato to serve as a thickener and also as a sweetener. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you click the subscribe button. I hope you're going to share this video with others. And I also hope I'm going to be seeing your comments. See you in the next video. Bye.